everyone, this is the story about the North American region. It must be said right away that we are talking about North America purely in geographical terms, not considering culture or politics. And this may be controversial because of some other concepts from this North America, including Central America and the Caribbean, for example. Here, North America is defined as a continent and lies on the North American tectonic plate. From this, Greenland is also considered part of North America. Although politically, Greenland is an autonomous region belonging to Denmark and would be part of Europe. The United Nations officially recognizes North America as consisting of three regions: North America, Central America, and the Caribbean. This has been officially defined by the United Nations as land area and 4.8% of the Earth. The southern part of the North American continent is divided into two regions, Central America and the Caribbean. The northern part of the North American continent is Canada and the United States. The only land connection between North America and South America is the Isthmus of Panama. This isthmus emerged after the Earth's geological tectonic processes. Previously, it was completely In terms of population, the most populous country in North America is the United States, with about 330 million people. The second most populous is Mexico, with over 110 million people. Canada is the third most populous country, with nearly 40 million people. In the Caribbean region, countries with large populations include Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Most other small countries have populations under 1 million. North America is very diverse ethnically. The three main groups include people of European descent, people of mixed European and indigenous ancestry, and finally, people of color. There is a significant minority of North Americans who are of Asian descent, with Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, and Filipino origins making up the majority. The dominant languages of North America are English, Spanish, and French. English and Spanish are understandable due to the past colonization by the British and Spanish. French also historically played an important role in North America and still maintains its presence in some regions. For example, Canada is an officially bilingual country. French is the official language of Quebec, where 95% of the population speaks French as their first or second language. In reality, no evidence has been found that humans evolved in the North American region. To put it more simply, the people in North America are migrants from other regions. And archaeological evidence shows that ancient hunter-gatherers migrated via the Bering Land Bridge. Later, this land bridge no longer existed because sea levels rose, and it is now the Bering Strait. They migrated from Siberia to Alaska tens of thousands of years ago. Then, during the Age of Discovery, Europeans discovered North America. They colonized the North American region and made the indigenous peoples of North America the weaker party. When Europeans arrived in the New World, the indigenous peoples had various reactions. Some were curious, some engaged in trade, some cooperated, some resigned, and some resisted. But the indigenous population of North America declined significantly after the Europeans arrived, mainly due to the introduction of diseases, which caused the indigenous population of North America to. And the most horrific disease that Europeans brought to North America was smallpox. Economically, North America, Canada, and the United States are among the wealthiest and most developed countries. Next is Mexico, a newly industrial. The United States has the largest economy in this region and also the largest in the world. The countries of Central America and the Caribbean have completely different levels of economic and human development. The per capita GDP in the North American region, as assessed by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, averages $41,830, making North America the wealthiest region in the world. Next is Oceania. With developed economies and transportation, the Pan-American Highway not only connects North American countries but also extends all the way to South America. In fact, there is no defined length for the Pan-American Highway because the US and Canadian governments have never officially designated any specific route as part of the Pan-American Highway. However, the total length from Mexico to the northernmost point of this highway is about 26,000 kilometers. The first two transcontinental railway lines in the United States were also built starting in the 1860s. Indeed, they were far ahead of us by many. Let's look at some of North America. Denali, formerly officially known as McKinley, is the highest mountain peak in North America, with an elevation of 6,190 meters. This peak was named McKinley for a long time from 1917 until 2015, when it was renamed Denali as it is now. The Tall One. This Denali Peak is part of Denali National Park. Each year, this about 400,000 visitors, mainly from May to September. The weather is very warm. The terrain of Denali is very treacherous. On a journey to conquer the highest peak in North America, climbers must stop at 5 camps. Therefore, exploring Denali requires climbers to have good experience and excellent physical condition. The upper half of Denali is completely covered by white snow and glaciers. The glaciers at this altitude can be up to nearly 50 kilometers long. In the coldest region of the mountain, at altitudes from 5,700 meters upward, ice and snow can reach temperatures of minus 60 degrees Celsius. With wind chill, the temperature can drop even lower. At these temperatures, the human body can freeze instantly at the highest point in North America. What is the longest river in North America? We are often familiar with the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is actually not the longest river in North America, as the Missouri River. This river originates in the Rocky Mountains, which are also very famous in North America, and has a length of 3,767 kilometers. This river then flows into the Mississippi River. The Missouri River flows through 10 U.S. states and 2 Canadian provinces, combining with the Mississippi River to form a massive river system. Those who have dug out canoes. Big Muddy. At that time, steamboats were a common means of transportation along the Missouri River, and this river became an important artery throughout North America throughout its history. What is the largest city in North America? Many people might think of cities in the United States and Canada, but that is not actually the case. It is the capital, Mexico City. This is a city located at an altitude of over 2,000 meters above sea level and has a temperate climate. Some people unaccustomed to this altitude may experience shortness of breath when landing by plane in the city, although this usually disappears after a few hours. Mexico City is a city with a population of 22 million, larger than any other city in North America. And this city also contributes over 20% of Mexico's entire GDP. This is an important financial center not only for Mexico and North America but also for the entire world. And even more remarkably, this city is actually built on a lake and is sinking gradually every day. Historically, the Aztecs, the indigenous people of Mexico, chose this place as a sacred site to build their empire, their capital city. The Aztecs were the people who dominated most of the region of present-day Mexico from around the 14th to the 16th centuries, forming one of the great civilizations of humanity. According to a prophecy, the Aztec capital would appear when an eagle perched on a cactus. Therefore, the Aztecs traveled everywhere to find an eagle perched on a cactus. Finally, this bird landed on a cactus, but not just anywhere, on a cactus growing in the middle of a lake, on a tiny piece of land. That was the capital of the Aztecs. To this day, this symbolic image is still printed on the Mexican flag as evidence of an ancient tradition. After the Aztecs built their capital, the Spanish invaded Mexico and decided to build a new city right on the foundations of the old Aztec structures. That is the origin of the modern Mexico City today. The former lake has now dried up, but the city continues to sink because the muddy layer beneath is still active. The city sinks an average of about 12 centimeters per year, causing some structures to tilt like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Despite these problems, Mexico City continues becoming one of the richest and greenest capitals on the planet, while constantly expanding its area. One surprising fact is that this city is home to about 700,000 Americans, the largest community of Americans living outside the United States. And one final record in North America. What is the tallest building in North America? The United States is the cradle of skyscrapers, and the world's first skyscraper was also built in the US, in Chicago in 1885. Currently, the tallest building in North America is One World Trade Center, with a height of 541.3 meters. It is also the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. Before 2009, this building was called the Freedom Tower. And the Freedom Tower also marks the end of today's story about the North American region. Again, this is purely geographical North America. Thank you for following this story. If you found it interesting, please subscribe to the Hidden Ledger channel, turn on notifications, and share the video. Now, it's time to say goodbye. Subscribe to the Guy and Migo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.